Hello everyone, and welcome to Melissa Data's WebClinic. Give your data the royal treatment with data enrichments in Excel. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Amy Breyer, and today we'll be learning how to enrich contacts using Listware, our self-service data cleansing tool that cleans, updates, and enriches your contact data. As we begin, I'd like to encourage you to submit questions at any point during the presentation. Then we'll answer as many as possible at the end. If we miss your question, or you think of a question later, please don't hesitate to contact us. Tony's information will be on screen. Now I'll turn your attention to Tony Deacon, our data quality expert, who will be demonstrating today. Tony?
Thank you, Amy, and thank all of you for attending. Sorry for the delay there. Thank you for attending our second web clinic we're doing on Listware for Excel. Melissa Data is offering to allow you to consume our web services. We spoke about it a bit last time, discussing the basics of Listware for Excel, so I feel like we should probably just give a quick review of that, and this time we'll focus on appending information, particularly business information. Melissa Data has always developed software and data quality tools, and recently, in the last 5 years, 10 years, we've made those into web services that can be consumed from anywhere in the world. Generally, you would have to write programs to consume our web services and be using it for millions of records. But this year, we've introduced a new add-on for Excel, Listware for Excel, which allows you to hit our web services without actually having to write a program or have any kind of a subscription. The backbone of the Listware for Excel add-on is our Personator web service, which is a web service that, in addition to having the ability to correct addresses and standardize them, it also cross-references multiple data sources going back years and even decades in some cases, to try and get as many possible matches for you to increase the confidence you have in a given record, or to be honest, to let you know if you don't have a good record and it's just not worth keeping. To start with Listware for Excel, you'd have to create an account on our website. So if you go to melissadata.com and you click on Sign In, you can sign into your account, or if you don't have an account yet, there will be instructions to create one there. Once you sign in and create an account, you can go to My Account, and you'll find that it's generated a license string for Listware for Excel, and it will have also added 1,000 credits, as we have a promotion right now going where we'll give you 1,000 free credits when you try it, so that you can do your testing without having to pay anything. And currently we're doing an additional promotion where we top off your account to 1,000 credits every month. So if you're under 1,000 credits, we'll put it up to 1,000 once a month, just so you can do small amounts without having to pay anything and introduce our services. Once you've downloaded the package to install it, you run a quick install in Windows. And the next time you open Excel, you'll see you have a new tab labeled Listware. When you click on Listware, you'll see these options, all the processing options for check, verify, move, enrichment, data entry, matching, etc. Last time we went over check and verify. Quickly, check is the step where it will verify your address, check it against the USPS databases and other databases to try and validate the address, standardize it, checks phone numbers, emails for syntax and data entry errors. The next step we went over last time was verify. That shows matches between the individual data pieces, so it checks the name against the address, name against the phone, phone against the address, things like that. The more hits you get with verify, the greater confidence you can have that the data you have is the best data available. Today we'll focus more on append. We did a little of that last time, showed how it will append names based on the address, names based on the phones, cross-referenced using verify. So based on your existing data, it can append new data that you didn't have. The move is national change of address, and we'll be doing another webinar for that specifically. Again, check is just checking the data you have. Standardizes the address. You can see it normalized the phone number data, corrected the spelling errors in the website, and of course verified that the address below was no good, so you can separate your good records from your bad records and not waste any time on bad leads. Verifies the second step, and you can see these codes, VR04, VR07, those are the result codes, we call them, and VR for verify. So you can see once it normalized your data using check, then it checked address and phone against each other, found a match, so you get a VR code there. Address and business go together. So the VR codes indicate the parts that were verified. Append, the next step, once you've checked all your data against itself, then it can find additional data based on other sources, cross-reference databases. For example here, using the company name and the address, it was able to standardize the address. It was able to find the official phone number for the business, the official website. All of that was appended based on the data you had to start with. This is a little sloppy looking, but we'll go over it in the software. When you hover over these little red arrows in the records, it will bring up the result codes with a description of what they are. So you don't have to know the codes or remember them or look them up. You can just hover over it and you'll see exactly what it did, what it found, how much processing it was able to do. Append can be done for name to address verification, such as appending a name when you don't have one, based on company name and address, contact append, firmographics, which we'll be doing today, and demographics, which are firmographics being business data for business-to-business type marketing, and demographics being more specific to the individual people. When you run the update if you already have Listware for Excel and you run the update, you'll see we've added a new tab for the Business Coder. If you click on Business Coder, you'll be able to run appends for all of your business data, so size of the business, number of employees, sales, things like that. We'll go into a quick demo right after this. Again, Listware, the advantage for you is it uses our massive web services that are running 24/7, 365 days a year, processing millions of records every hour. And without an account, without having to have any kind of a paid subscription or monthly fee or yearly fee, you can purchase credits and use those just to process records, small amounts at a time, single records, 100 records, and you will only be charged for the data we actually process and append for you. It's automatically updated on our end. There's no software on your end, no programming, which is a first with our web services. So now you can consume our services without having to write your own program, without having to have any kind of a subscription to them. Now I'd like to do a quick demo where we'll show the same thing we discussed. And real briefly, if you come to Melissa Data's site, you can sign in up here and come to the credits page to activate your free credits. So for new users, you can have free credits added to the account so you can do your testing, see how it works for you before you have to pay anything. And again, you can set it to automatically renew so that you always have credits. And it will, again, only deduct credits for processing it actually does do. So if you don't get a phone number, we don't charge you for that service. So you see here in our Excel, this is the newest update. If you don't have these new tabs, then there's an update available for Listware for Excel that will install them. Last time we did the regular check and verify under US and Canada. This time we're going to focus on the business coder, and this will add firmographic business information. Based on the data you have, it'll find new data to append. And when you first open the software, there's a tutorial you can see on the right-hand side. As soon as you click one of these tabs, this step-by-step wizard on the side will open. If you forget anything or just need to run over it again, you can go to the tutorial and it will show you that. Otherwise, you just click Next. Here it says select data to process. What it implies is you highlight however many records you want to run, so you don't have to do your entire file. You can do subsets or a small chunk just for testing, and then choose select so it knows these are the records you'd like to process. It instantly detects how many rows you have, what type of file, the name of it. Click Next. Check you'll have to do because we need to validate the address before we can append anything based on it. But you can see here, well, it doesn't fit on the screen quite right, but it automatically detected our input fields, so it already has what you've got. If it for some reason missed them, you can manually do the drop down and choose one, though it does a pretty good job of automatically finding them. And so you can see we have company name, address, city, state, zip. That's all we have in this list. The output columns, this is where you're going to set what it's going to do, what it's going to add. It will leave your original columns as they are, so you won't have to worry about us changing or ruining your data. It'll add these as additional columns, where you'll be able to slide over and see the comparison. You can see we can do, under business information, we can just check these. Doesn't quite fit on the screen, but you can see these are the type of options you can have it add to your file. There are a few options about reporting here, and of course if you want to customize any of these steps, you can go to settings in the software, and there's a lot of these things you can customize to your own taste. How it makes reports, how many, whether it creates a new one every time or overwrites previous ones, just options for your own personal preference. Now at this point you can choose to back out. Otherwise, if you know those are the options you want, you can just click process and it will contact our servers and upload your data to our servers where they'll be verified and sent back. Normally it will do, on most machines, approximately 100 records a second. And it makes a colored chart here so you can get a basic idea of how well it's going. Addresses verified, addresses not verified. And these color-coded sections will also be added to the new columns. So you'll be able to see immediately the ones in red are the addresses where it couldn't find a match for you, and easily tell which records were processed, which ones were improved, which ones were left alone because it couldn't be processed. And it's quite quick in doing it, though we have found that it's based partly on your system resources, so it will process better and faster if you have fewer things running when you're processing, because it tries to use your system's own memory as in addition to increase performance. Now we're just about done. There you can see it's finishing up. And real briefly, you can see in the summary window over here, it's verified 1,000 of the 1,100. It matched 891 based on firm name, company name, address, things like that. And if you slide over, you'll see that in addition to your original columns that have been untouched, we've added new columns. Color-coded orange because they were verified, And you can see if you hover over the little arrow, then you can see FS04. That was a FS meaning firm status. That has to do with firmographic data, meaning the address matched. It was able to match company. And so you don't have to look up these result codes. You can just hover over them and you'll see what it's done, what kind of results it came up with. You can see it's appended a few emails based on the company name. It's determined what type of company, single location, headquarters, the approximate number of employees. Sorry, let's get up to the header file here. Come on, Excel. It'll probably be handier if we can see the headers. The numbers next to employee will also be sales. These are the sales reporting. Sorry about this. Excel is being really slow. You can see we've added these columns. So MD Melissa data location type, employee number, Melissa data sales annual, SIC codes for the business category. All firmographic data that it was able to determine just based on the company name and address that you had already. County and the results codes. In this column we have all the results codes, so you can hover over it and see everything it had to do. Match the company, match the address, validated the address. It's appended the business phone number, geocoded for location. And all of this based on just the simple data you provided. It cross-references, searches multiple databases, and is able to bring back whatever it can find that has the most hits and can give you the most confidence. And now if there are any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Thank you, Tony. Here's our first question. Does this same process work with individual and family records?
Yes and no. The Listware for Excel options do include that, though today we're focusing on the business coder, which is the one that doesn't do that. We have also a demographic append, just like the firmographic append, which would do the same for individuals, families. And also a part of that will be in the move and national change of address WebClinic that we'll be doing for this, because that also addresses family demographics, householding, population type stuff, and we'll focus on those in the next one.
Can you append additional information, such as the business owner and email?
I believe some cases it can. This is a relatively new service, and it's just been added to Listware for Excel, so I know that currently some features are available that may not have been ported into the Excel add-in yet, but they will be. If you like, you could contact tech support at Melissa Data, and we could research and find out exactly where we are on that, how far we've gotten with it. Most of the services will do that, though I'm just not positive that that's been added to this one just yet.
Okay, we'd like to open it up to one more question, if anyone has one. How are the credits used? For example, is 1 credit per item returned?
Oh, yeah, there's a web page that describes it. So generally speaking, it's 1 credit for each address you run through it and check, though if it manages to append a phone number or an email or a contact name, then it will charge additional credits. So it will charge based on what it's able to do. You can see each of these is 1 credit. Some of these will be more depending on how much work it has to do and how many different databases we license to do it. If you go to our website, it's easy to see this. And again, it only charges when it succeeds. So if it didn't find you a new phone number or it didn't find you demographics or firmographics, then it would just be 1 credit for checking the address and validating what you already had was good. But if it did append new data, then it would charge additional credits. The credit schedule here is, you can see they're actually quite cheap. So it'll be a penny a record at the most or something if it's doing a ton of work, but usually it's going to be like, I'm not sure of the math exactly depending on the average of the pens, but you can see it will always charge 1 credit for the processing, but would only charge additional credits if it succeeded in giving you new data.
Thank you so much for your submissions. I will be sending out a recording of today's webinar, and if you had a question which did not receive a reply, please contact tech support at Melissa Data. Thank you once again for joining Melissa Data's Web Clinic, Give Your Data the Royal Treatment with Data Enrichments in Excel. Visit our website to stay up to date on our latest webinars by checking out our News and Events section at the bottom of our homepage, melissadata.com. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.